Jeanne Jugan.
How lovely it is to be in the same place where Jeanne Jugan spent her last years and where she died in her old age. Tell me all about it, Sister Clara. I'd like to know more.
This is her home in Cancale, a coastal town in Brittany, France.
I know she was born on the 25th of October, 1792.
Let's go and visit young Jeanne and her mother. What a shame her father has been away several months fishing.
Marie now has to provide for her children all on her own. She's very brave.
Why is Father taking so long to come home?
My child, this time the sea has taken him away forever to heaven.
While still very young, she watched over a flock of sheep and she was captivated contemplating the sea and giving praise to God the Creator.
She helped her mother a lot. She was very responsible.
When she was about 15, she went to be a kitchen maid in the Le Chouet family mansion.
I totally trust in you, seeing how well you treat the beggars who come to the kitchen every day. I'd like you to come with me.
Going to the poor people's houses with you, madam, helps me feel closer to them.
Is it true that a sailor fell in love with her and waited until Jeanne told him quite clearly that God was calling her to serve him alone?
Yes, and then Jeanne went to Saint-Servant to the Rosé Hospital. She was there for 6 years. She ended up exhausted. There she met Mademoiselle Lecoq, who looked after her tenderly. Jeanne worked with her for 12 years. They were very close friends and both devoted to the most needy. When Mademoiselle Lecoq died, she left everything to Jeanne, though it wasn't very much.
So she was left alone. What did she do?
She worked every day, housekeeping, looking after the sick, and something really important. She made a great friend, Françoise Aubert.
Of course, Franchon.
The 2 rooms on the second floor and the attic are great spaces for communal living.
Here we'll share prayers, ideals, even though I'm 25 years older than you, Jeanne.
I'll give my bed to Aunt Chauvin and go to the attic.
I'm poor and blind, but I'm so lucky.
God and the poor. It was a decisive step.
I believe so. Virginie and Marie Jamet joined them, and they took in another old lady. That small group was the nucleus of the future Little Sisters of the Poor. There was not enough room, so they moved to the big basement. They chose Jeanne as their Mother Superior.
If this basket could talk, it would tell us so much about the collecting.
The old ladies are asking me to take their place. I asked for alms like they did.
And they give you many things: money, food, clothes. You're well received.
Not always, Mary.
Again, I gave you a good donation yesterday.
Sir, my poor people were hungry yesterday. They're hungry today, and they will also be hungry tomorrow.
And on another occasion,
Thank you. That's for me. Now give me something for my poor, please. We've been able to give shelter to as many as 12 old ladies, but now there's no more space. Father Le Payeur, I am grateful for your help.
Yes, the parish priest has entrusted your association to me. We'll do everything we can to acquire the old convent of the House of the Cross.
And they went to the House of the Cross. The small community re-elected Jeanne Jugan as their superior.
it happened December 8th, 1843. However, 2 weeks later, Father Le Payeur decided that the Mother Superior should be the 23-year-old Marie Jamet.
That way he could control her at his every whim.
Jeanne accepted without complaint, and she continued to receive the affection and admiration of the people and carried on the collecting.
Now we are the Sisters of the Poor, and today, 4th of February of the year 1844, we take on our religious name.
And you, Jeanne? What will you be called?
Sister Mary of the Cross.
They made their religious vows and continued tirelessly devoted to the most needy.
Keep up your spirits, sisters, even in bad times, so that our 50 elderly have clean clothes.
Jeanne, there's a rumour that they're going to give you the Montyon Prize from the French Academy. You were right to accept that the mayor of Saint-Savan and other leading figures requested it for you.
It will be most welcome if it means we can pay for an extension to take in more elderly poor.
In 1846, Jeanne went to Rennes. Her collecting was announced in the newspapers. She took the report that was read in the academy, not because of vainglory, but as a good reference.
Let's look at this fragment that the illustrious academics heard. She has truly identified her own fate with that of the poor, dresses like them with what's given to them, and eats leftovers like them.
She always keeps the best part for those who are sick or more infirm, and the people who help her follow her example.
In Rennes, while collecting alms, I was moved by the misery in the poor neighborhoods of the town. It is important to open a home.
As far as I'm concerned, you have my support, Jeanne, though it won't be easy. I have heard that you and your sister sleep on straw because you have already sheltered some infirm elderly in your room.
It's true that it all seems impossible, but if God is with us, it will be done. And we'll entrust it to Saint Joseph.
And it was done. Soon they had 10 old ladies.
How did your visit to Jeanne go?
What a staircase, and such poverty. But Jeanne is a shining light. She answered all my questions frankly.
What do they live on?
She does not know today if there will be food for her old people tomorrow, but trusts that God will not abandon her poor, and she's never wrong.
And they, what do they do?
The ones who can unravel old garments, and others do small jobs according to their abilities. She gives them a third of the meager earnings.
I can see you're very moved.
Yes, it's really touched me. I told her that when she's been all over France, she should come to England to show us how to look after our poor.
Dinan was the third establishment, and they had to look for a place with more room. Jeanne continued with her collecting and foundations.
Our religious family is growing day by day. It upsets me that Father Le Payet still disregards you.
But take heart thinking of the new foundations in these last 4 years, and that now, in 1851, we've opened the first house in England.
Sister Jeanne, please get in. It is an honor to take along the little sisters of the poor.
I've called you in order to tell you that from now on you will no longer do the collecting, and you will stay in this novitiate house in Rennes. You will simply be Sister Mary of the Cross. For the moment, you will take care of the manual work of the postulants.
Father Le Payeur, it seems that you have stolen my work, but I hand it over to you willingly.
Jeanne was ever so humble.
At that time, in early 1852, there were 15 houses and 500 little sisters looking after over 1,500 old people in a welcoming, joyful environment.
And then La Tour Saint-Joseph was acquired in Saint-Pern, north of Rennes. The new novitiate was opened in 1856, and Sister Mary of the Cross was sent there.
In this profession of 23 little sisters, I recall the words of the Most Reverend Bishop, that we remain little and simple. This is what we must keep alive.
She spent all those years in La Tour as any other sister. They didn't even know she was the foundress. She helped the novices and the postulants.
Little sister, go right away and change your wet clothes. You may catch a cold.
Sister Mary of the Cross is in everything so discreetly, and she takes special care of us.
These very straw hats that she showed us how to weave protect us well from the heat.
Her place to pray in her final years was a corner of the chapel gallery near her room.
Little, very little before you, O Lord, an instrument of your work.
Her wish to see the good Lord and the Virgin Mary was fulfilled on the day of her death, August 29, 1879. Later, she was fully recognized as the foundress.
Pope Benedict XVI canonized her in 2009, and the Little Sisters spread throughout the world continue to be faithful to her message.
Refuse God nothing. We must do all through love. Never forget that the poor are our Lord. We should always be cheerful, for our old people do not like long faces.